find a handful of these individuals that are musicians, follow those accounts, because those accounts are pretty much focused on creating audio. And if they got a few that are already trending, most likely a lot more of the upcoming ones are going to be trending as well. And when those posts come out, you'll be one of the first to get the audio.
I think I did it without actually doing the exact way you said it, but that's true. Like, I don't know, I'm sure everybody knows or have heard of like the Austin guy. He's like the
Austin Mills.
Okay.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Like, every single audio goes viral. Things.
And he's like,
I don't know
he's
what
on
that
the
is.
roof. You ever seen him on the roof?
Yeah.
He's just like, damn it.
He's just like,
jamming. Our topic today is how to find trending audios, and I'm joined by the amazing Refined Marketing Services, better known as Camila, who's on the screen. It's a major topic. IG Reels has been blowing up since its introduction. Everybody's been dancing, everybody's been pointing, everybody's been doing everything to get as much of awareness and attention on IG Reels. And one of the key factors I've always believed, and I think many could agree with this as well as you, Camila, is that sound plays a really important part in regards to IG Reels. It helps gather attention. Before we even get into that, I want to have an idea or a better explanation from you of what exactly is trending sound or trending audio when you hear it referred to on Instagram. But how would you describe it?
I would describe it as an audio that is growing in popularity over time. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, but it grows over time and many users will use it, and there's like a number and it'll be like 1,000 uses, 3,000, if you go up, millions. And so as it grows, that's how popular it is. And when you use it, it can also help you. We'll go into that later.
I think that's a great way to kind of describe it, because on Instagram we have so much, we have a large music library, and you have to kind of figure out which one is actually trending. As you stated, some of them might be really large and then millions of uses on Reels, and we have to kind of determine which one would be best for our content and might help push our content to more people. But will trending audio, whether you add it on a Reel or sometimes even an IG story, do you think that that would make or break your content?
I think it really comes down to the content itself. I feel like a lot of people still say that, like, is it valuable? Like, is the content good? And I think that that's the biggest part. But as far as making or breaking it, I feel like it'll make it more instead of breaking it. Like, your chances are higher if you use the trending sound. So
it's beneficial, but not required.
Yeah, I think it's definitely beneficial, and I would say that when you can use it, you should use it, because it won't hurt you.
When you can use it, use it, but don't feel like it's mandatory. It's not a rule. It's not illegal. You know, you're not gonna have the FBI busting your house and you can use any trending audio on this Reel. But it does actually help, as you're stating. It could help boost our content, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's all that your audience wants.
Right.
So we kind of have to find a balance as well. As much as we're talking about trending audio today, there has to be some form of balance in regards to what's trending and perhaps original audio. I'm using the word original audio. When I say original audio, how would you define that?
I would define that as an audio from a user, right? It's just like someone starts it, and I don't know, it's from your own account. So it really depends. Like, the original audio, sometimes they go viral, right? They could start trending.
That's true.
But it starts with like your own audio, your own sound already. You're not using somebody else's.
Yeah. You know, just once again, original audio is in demand, but trending audio has a higher opportunity of increased reach and shareability. And that's something that we want to actually always keep in mind when we're considering which form of audio we want to use. But let's go into our main topic in regards to how to find trending audio. You go ahead and lead off first with your first way of how to find trending audio for Instagram Reels.
So my first way, and I would say it is my main way, would be, I guess it's the most organic, as you would call it, but I will scroll on the Reels like homepage, and I will see like what are the same sounds that keep coming up. That's the first thing. I also check the uses I also check the arrows. As I'm scrolling, like I take note of those things. I see how are other people using it. I see if it has the potential. But for the most part, just going on Instagram itself and just scrolling, hearing it, taking note of that, and saving the audio sometimes, that's how I find a lot of them, because they're just gaining popularity. And I feel like sometimes you go elsewhere, they're already like later on or grown more. So yeah, that's how
I gotta say, as much as that's probably the most organic way, I feel like that's the most dangerous way, because if you don't scroll cautiously with intent, you can find yourself going down a rabbit hole and you end up just
yeah.
watching different reels and you're being entertained. And next thing you know, you're like, wait a sec, an entire hour has passed and I don't have any audio. So guys, I think that's a great tip that Camila just shared with us, but be very intent with your time. Like, even if you have to set a timer, put a timer of like 15, 20 minutes and scroll with the intent of looking for audio, because if not, you might end up going down a rabbit hole of just, finding great reels that you spend more time hitting the like button and taking notes of what audio to actually keep track of. In regards to that, maybe I want to suggest my way, one of my ways that I actually do it, and it might sound a little bit controversial because I'm using Instagram's competitor, TikTok. I think using TikTok in that form, the same manner you just described in regards to going on the homepage and scrolling, taking notes of what's really trending. TikTok happens to have a lot more music that's trending earlier before it hits Instagram. It's like maybe a good 2 to 4 weeks earlier. It gives you a good head start, so you can start planning out what type of content you want to put with this form of audio, because it's going to end up on Instagram sooner or later. I think TikTok is an amazing source of getting trending audio, and you're getting it ahead of time. If you haven't got a TikTok account, go ahead, and if you want to use it just for that purpose, go right ahead. I think that's a great resource for you guys.
Definitely, that I completely agree with you. And then another way that I find those audios as well is going like as if I'm going to create a reel, and they have the many audios and options, but they'll have like original audios. They have just different sections in there, and if you really go and check and see the uses as well, I think the difficulty with that one is maybe you don't have examples of how other people have used it. But they have many options there as well, and you can be creative. In the end, Instagram really wants everyone to be creative and unique with how they do things, and sometimes even though it's a trending audio, you want to still stand out.
I agree. I think that's a special one that not a lot of people are talking about, because you have to actually pretend that you're creating the reel in that moment. Maybe you're in the mood of creating something a little jazzy. Well, you could go to the jazz category or even hip hop and things like that. I think that's a really great way of doing it. I'm going to go to my next one, which just so happens to be using the Instagram account creators. Now, Instagram has this account which they are really focused on giving information to the creators. What they do is they actually post all of the trending audio. And when I say post like all of them, they'll do, each one has their own story, and they'll post like maybe 12 to 15 of them at a time. You go to creators account, you'll see in their IG stories that they have this nice little graphical image of the album that the song is from and is playing. You won't see an example of how to use the reel, like Camila's last example. So you won't get an example or know how to use it, but that's where you can get creative and use your own creative juices to figure out how can I best use these songs that Instagram is directly suggesting that I use. You're literally getting it from the platform itself, and I think that's a great resource to consider if you are looking for trending audio. So go ahead and check out Creators Account directly from Instagram. Do you have another one?
Similar to what you said, which great point. Instagram, like, why not? They're like the app itself.
Yeah.
And I think on a website side, like if you wanted to research and outside of the app, they do have like blogs just like Later or other ones, and they do like weekly things as well. They'll send they'll have like their blogs every single week. Again, you probably want to make sure you're like the first one to see it, maybe, because it's gonna be too late by the time it's like a week later, or 2 weeks later. But that's a good way as well if you're just wanting to get out of the app. Maybe you get distracted too easily and you don't want to go on TikTok, then you could find something on the website, just searching like trending audios, and then make sure it's like a good site, and you'll see like when it first came out and the amount of uses and everything.
They're probably getting it from TikTok for all we know. But they put it together nice in a great form for you guys to just go ahead and say, okay, I don't have to actually go out and do the research by hand. They're pretty much just curating the audio for you. So great option right there. There is one other, and I don't think that this one gets talked about a lot. If you want to go on the Reels and you look at what's trending, it's be identified by the arrow, right? But nobody clicks on the person's name that actually posted the audio. And some of these names are the people that actually create, like literally they're composers. They create the audio. So what I would suggest is to find a handful of these individuals that are musicians. They're creating the content. And they actually show you sometimes. They'll create their own reel of them actually creating it. And it's usually the first reel that you see when you go to the audio page. So you can literally see them create the reel. Follow those accounts because those accounts are pretty much focused on creating audio. And if they got a few that are already trending, most likely a lot more of the upcoming ones are going to be trending as well. So follow those accounts, and when those posts come out, you'll be one of the first to get the audio, and you'll be in that first maybe 100 of people that actually uses the real audio, which is, I think, is a great way to actually support the actual musician while jumping on the trend as soon as it jumps on. Have you ever tried that one before, Camila?
I think I did it without actually doing the exact way you said it, but that's true. Like, I don't know. I'm sure everybody knows or have heard of like the Austin guy. He's like the
Austin Mills.
Okay.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Like every single audio goes viral, and I think that that's a great account to follow. And other ones similar, but that's who I think of when you were explaining, because he really just does all the little things.
And he's like,
I don't know.
He's on the roof. You ever seen him on the roof?
Yeah.
He's just like jamming.
He's just
he's
like
jamming.
Yeah. And they all go viral, so you just gotta use them.
Yeah, he's a great one to actually consider and to follow because a lot of his songs go viral. So go ahead and follow some of the musicians directly and support them that way. You know, I think that's an awesome way to do it. And there you guys go. I think that was like 6 different ways that we just shared for you guys how to find trending audio for your Instagram Reels. You could go and stay inside of Instagram. You could go to their competitor, TikTok, or you could go to different websites like Camila suggested. There are various ways for you guys to go ahead and find all of these trending audios because they change all the time. What's trending yesterday might not be trending today. What's not trending now might be trending tomorrow. But that we just suggested some of the best ways for you guys to stay up to date on your trending audio. And I hope you guys take this information, as I always say, move forward and step your gram up.